Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, December 21st. Rain and snow, well, we're going to start seeing that around later on today, and this sticks with us at least through Christmas and even beyond that. Like we said, it starts today. Most of it's going to be in the Central Mountains and up in the Tetons, or maybe an inch in some areas, maybe 2 on the spine of the Sawtooth or Tetons, or a little bit more. And like we said, there will be multiple rounds, and some of these will be pretty rapid fire. Sometimes we'll see a little bit of a break, and this continues through Christmas Day. It looks like we're even going to have moisture all the way through the end of next week at this particular point. Satellite shows not a lot of organization. There's a big low off the coast. We see multiple waves of moisture moving in out ahead of that. And that's what we're expecting to start feeling, this rain and snow coming through the area. We still can't rule out a little bit of patchy fog in a couple of spots, mainly around water bodies this morning. Otherwise, it's not expected to be an issue for us, at least for this morning. Our weather risk outlook, it gets pretty busy, but each round of moisture, there's really nothing that puts us beyond minor impacts. On a given day, we'll have to kind of watch those trends. Maybe we might see later on in the week with some better moisture coming in, and maybe some of those impacts might be just a little bit more. For now, just have to kind of watch things as we go through each day and check any travel plans you got over some of the higher elevations or in the backcountry for snowfall coming our direction. So looking at how the forecast will be shaping up, you'll notice we continue through most of the day into the mid to late afternoon until we see any moisture moving in. And you'll notice as it shifts east today, this is kind of what you would see if you're looking at your radar on your favorite app or on television. You'll notice it kind of falls apart as it moves east, maybe holds on a little bit more up into the Tetons, the Eastern Highlands, a little less organized once you get across the rest of the areas. We go through the evening and late evening into the overnight hours, hanging up into the Tetons overnight. And then we'll even see that dissipate a little bit. But you'll notice that first wave came in from west to east. The next wave is going to kind of work in from southwest to northeast as we go through the day tomorrow. And we get towards late tomorrow afternoon. Most of it is extending from the Magic Valley and the lower end of the Snake Plain down into the southern and southeast highlands, the South Hills. That'll eventually continue shifting northeast tomorrow night and into Monday for the next round of moisture. And also, right on its heels of this wave, there's another one coming in late tomorrow night into Monday that's going to bring some more moisture into the Central Mountains with, we'll kind of call that the second and third punch right in a row there. Looking at the rest of the forecast, for temperature-wise today, quite a few 40s and low 50s, especially once you get into the Magic and Treasure Valleys, where we stay a little more with an inversion today, a little less mixing. Low to mid-30s for afternoon highs. A good example is in the Arco Desert and also over towards Fairfield and Gooding as well for this afternoon. Looking at the winds, we've got a couple of things going on. We just have that system coming through, and most of that's going to be to the north. That's where the stronger winds with that system is going to be throughout this afternoon into this evening, and some of those gusts could be over 30 miles per hour. Meanwhile, with the system coming in, we do expect some southerly winds along the bench areas and across the South Hills over towards Swan Valley and Palisades. That continues with some of those gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour. And a third area of gusts, at least this morning, it's interestingly enough with this type of pattern, we have this wind around, but you'll still see some down valley wind, down plain wind over the Magic Valley, and some of those gusts near 20 to 25. That's mainly for late morning into the early afternoon. Those are the wind gusts, but they'll start shutting down as we get past midnight, closer to sunrise tomorrow morning. Those winds really start dropping off. Now, looking at the snowfall, not much, maybe just some very light accumulations this afternoon around Galena Summit, Stanley back towards the spine of the Sawtooth. Going into this evening, that's when we see things picking up over the Central Mountains. A couple of inches in a few spots. Again, the spine of the Sawtooth may push 2 to 4 inches during this time frame, or maybe a little bit on the high end, but we'll see how things go through this evening with this wave coming through. And then as we go into later tonight, tonight, early tomorrow morning. Just some light snowfall over the central mountains down into the southeast highlands. And that trend continues as well as we go through into tomorrow, late tonight, early tomorrow morning, over the Tetons, where we could see an inch or two of snow there and just light snowfall even up towards Lost Trail Pass. For tomorrow morning, after sunrise, a little bit of light snow across the South Hills over into the southeast highlands, and also continuing over into the Tetons around Island Park. But again, not much expected there for the very end of this first wave coming through. If you look at what we look at, if you were to take that and melt that down, or we might even see a little bit of rain where it's a little warmer with this system. Most areas seeing a tenth across the Tetons, a tenth to a quarter of an inch in a few spots, and a tenth to a quarter and a little bit higher there on the spine of the Sawtooth with this wave coming through. Now, temperatures for Sunday, we're generally going to be a little bit cooler in the afternoon. In the morning, especially where we can get a little bit of a wind over late tonight, early tomorrow morning, right at or above freezing all the way from Idaho Falls, Pocatello to Burley, Oakley, over into portions of the Treasure Valley. Otherwise, teens and 20s staying below freezing for tonight into tomorrow. And you'll notice those temperatures, we don't see any 50s around tomorrow, but mid to upper 40s down around Oakley, Burley, over into the Treasure and Magic Valleys. Otherwise, 30 to 40 degree highs, except in the highest elevations of the Central Mountains. Going into Monday, you'll notice continuing with this next wave coming through. Afternoon highs kind of varying a little bit. In a few spots, they'll be a little bit warmer, maybe a degree or two cooler, just depending on your location. But the bigger story is the much warmer afternoon or overnight lows, well above freezing once you get from around Pocatello over towards the Treasure and Magic Valley south towards the Utah border. Even warmer up in the valleys of the Central Mountains. Still some teens and 20s for overnight lows for Sunday night into Monday morning. And looking at that system coming through, looking at the entirety of that, and then goes through Monday evening, you'll notice maybe a little light snow over portions of the Central Mountains into the Upper Snake Plain. Otherwise, the spine of the Sawtooth may see another 4 inches or so. Also, the higher amounts with the system, like we said, it works in from southwest to northeast and pretty much stays over the southeast corner of the state into western Wyoming. The spine of the Bear River Range, the big holes into the Tetons, could see anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, maybe a little bit more. We'll just have to see. I'm sure we'll see some more fluctuations with the amounts there. And moisture-wise, taking where we might get a little rain, or if you melt that snow. In the higher elevations, tenth of an inch to around a quarter of an inch, a little higher in a few spots, especially over around the big holes and the Tetons, where some of those areas could be in excess of a half an inch, maybe closer to 1 inch, and if you look at that moisture content with that system coming through. The rest of the forecast, Tuesday, if you celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, temperatures cooler in the morning, but we're going to start to see some temperatures warming up a little bit, especially from Pocatello westward, a little bit cooler elsewhere across the area, but still not too bad. Where we stay a little less mixed on Tuesday, that's going to be closer to freezing. And for Christmas Day, temperatures just cooler overall. Again, warmer in the morning in some areas, but cooler overall in the afternoon. Not many areas getting above 40 degrees. Maybe Burley over towards Twin and Glenn's Ferry. Otherwise, temperatures will be in the 20s and 30s for Wednesday. So once again, starting today, just periods of rain and snow coming through the area. The system coming through today that goes into tomorrow morning, most of the mountains seeing less of an inch, 2 inches, maybe a little bit more across portions of the Sawtooth and the Tetons, and just be ready for rain and snow all the way through the middle of next week. That takes us through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Have a great day, and do stay safe out there, everyone.